when we sit here and he says he's rating himself 8 out of 10, I agree. And I have just shown you, and I support you. 8 out of 10 Kenyans will tell you, says State House is getting a lot of money. 8 out of 10 Kenyans will tell you the president is surrounded by warlords, Akina Cherargei, who speak carelessly about human rights. The president keeps saying he will make Kenya Singapore.
Yeah.
I believe he's going to make Kenya Singa-Poor. Poor, not poor, poor. And I'll explain to you. When you read about the founder of Singapore, he went and sat down and chose the best. The best. And it's called meritocracy. He said, who is the best in education in this country? Who is the best in health? Who is the best in, management of prisons? And those are the people he appointed. Now, you come here, you choose some of the worst. People even with corruption scandals, people with cases in court, and you give them ministries. And then once you give them ministries, you drop even some of their cases. And then you wonder why Kenya is becoming poorer.
He would argue he doesn't drop. It's the judiciary.
Still, why out of 50 million Kenyans do you want to choose the one who has cases? Some of the best performing banks in this country have got CEOs who are reputable. If someone can raise the worth of a bank from 2 shillings to 7 shillings within an X period of time, why can't you take this guy and make him Minister for Finance? If someone can wake up one day and you hear that there's a telecommunication company that is the best in East and Central Africa, or Eastern Africa for that reason, and these brains are the brains behind it, why not hire them? So you cannot get mangoes from orange trees. You cannot turn Kenya into a Singapore by hiring poor brains. You will become Singa-Poor, and Kenya is not going to go anywhere. So that is what is going to answer the question you're asking. I had the president rate himself. I don't know whether you had him rate himself.
Yeah, I watched that interview.
And he said 8 out of 10.
You don't believe him?
I agree with him for the first time. Oh, President, I support you for once. I agree with him about 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 Kenyans are struggling to fix a meal. 8 out of 10 Kenyans have a problem with SHA. 8 out of 10 problems have a problem with university funding model. 8 out of 10 problems, Kenyans have a problem with, capitation to schools. 8 out of 10 Kenyans are planning to queue in January at the offices of their MPs to beg for checks so that they can take their children to school. 8 out of 10 Kenyans have no idea what they are going to have for Christmas. 8 out of 10 businesses today are closing down, or they have realized a loss and are making significant losses. 8 out of 10 Kenyans today can tell you people who are going into depression because of unpaid bills, pending bills by this government. So when we sit here and he says he's rating himself 8 out of 10, I agree. And I have just shown you, and I support you. 8 out of 10 Kenyans will tell you, says State House is getting a lot of money. 8 out of 10 Kenyans will tell you the president is surrounded by warlords, Akina Cherargei, who speak carelessly about human rights. 8 out of 10 Kenyans know a young person who died in demonstrations on our streets and their body has never been found. We still have more than 200 people who are missing to date. 8 out of 10 Kenyans know that Albert Ojwang died in a police cell. 8 out of 10 Kenyans will tell you that university students have been at home for 6 months. 8 out of 10 Kenyans will tell you that hospitals in Kiambu are closing down. There is no services being offered there. So, President, you rate yourself 8 out of 10. I support you with those words.
Maybe you are the people yesterday he was, I think, somewhere in Samburu. Mm-hmm. And he said, many of you doubted when we said Kenya is going to be the Singapore. And he believes in his lifetime, or our lifetime, if God keeps us, that Kenya will attain that.
I don't
you're
see
probably
that
in that statistic.
I'll explain why it's not happening. Now, there is by-elections happening in Malava, Kabuchai, Mbere, and so many other places. Now, how many voters are in Kiambu roughly? 1.2 million. Now, 1.2 million voters cannot access hospitals, but there's no government representative there. But a place like Kabuchai, actually, sorry, it's a ward within Kabuchai. There's a by-election. Farouk Kibet and all the others are camping there. To them, winning an MCA seat is more critical than resolving a 3-month strike in Kiambu hospitals. I want you to get this picture. Mbere North is a constituency, I don't know with how many voters, hajafika 100,000. Government is there every day. Money has been poured in sacks. People are getting money. And at the same time, 500,000 young people are at home because of the university strike.
Well, the strike ended.
It didn't end because the teachers haven't gotten. They are just saying it's ended, but that's coercion. How much money are they being given?
No,
so for these 6 months...
Their spokesperson said they agreed to be paid in 2 phases.
For these 6 months, when they were on strike, did you see...
It was not 6 months.
Did you see these people there?
No, it was, I think, 49 days. That's not 6 months.
Let me tell you. You know, you are forgetting that what helped them is that there was a closure of the university within during the part that has been affected mainly is the part when they were supposed to be studying, the 49 days. But you're forgetting there's a holiday that exists in between there. So ordinarily they were home because they're supposed to be home. But during these 49 days, how many government officials camped at the university the way they are camping in Malava? And how much money did they take there? When teachers, the university lecturers were dancing and doing sports events that we need to benchmark from, how many government officials went there the way they are going when we have by-elections? So to them, it's not important. What's important is to come and say, we are kings of Malava. We are the guys who control Western. We are the guys who control Mbere. To them, that's what matters. When you think of the crisis in health in Kiambu, that for me, as a president, I would stop everything.
But the strike has also ended in Kiambu, the doctors. So
are we going to rise to life, the lives we lost?
Unfortunately.
So it's a very big pain in the hearts of people knowing that their children died and their people died in hospitals because government was not keen on them. It was not an important thing. What is important is a by-election.
Let us see how this by-election ends, because you would think we have a national election in Kenya, honestly speaking. Now,